Most businesses are still doing SEO like it's 2020. Build a few service pages, write some generic blogs, stuff in some keywords, celebrate if you rank, and then you sit there confused when traffic gets softer, clicks get weaker, and leads don't feel like they used to. The old playbook is just getting smoked. Search is no longer just a directory of blue links, it's becoming a synthesis engine. The phrase comes from Matt Southern, senior news writer for Search Engine Journal, and it's one of the cleanest ways to explain what's happening right now. He also highlighted three major pressure points that are reshaping search, and that is AI overviews, AI mode, and AI native ad replacements. So here's where the big ideas are for this episode. Your website can't just rank anymore. It has to be understood, it has to be trusted, and it has to be worth citing. And it has to give people a reason to click when the machine already handed them a summary. That is a shift, and a lot of businesses just aren't ready for it. So let's start with the obvious. Search engine behavior is changing. People are asking longer, messier, more layered questions, not just pest control in Charlotte or roofer in Charlotte or HVAC company in Charlotte. Now it's more like, who's the best pest control company in Charlotte if I have kids, a dog, and I don't want to get trapped in some long-term awful contract? This lines up with what Matt Southern, the senior news writer of Search Engine Journal, reported around AI mode. Much longer, more conversational searches built around more complicated questions. That matters because it's changing which websites are winning right now. If your site is still a glorified brochure with a home page, a few service pages, and sleepy blog posts that say absolutely nothing, you're not built for what's coming. You're built for a really old game, and that old game is getting weaker and weaker as days go on. Now here's where things are getting more uncomfortable. A lot of content that used to perform was never that strong to begin with. It just had a lot of competition from machine-generated summaries. Shelley Walsh, who's the managing editor of Search Engine Journal, made this point so well. She basically said, what is content is not hot anymore. A machine can summarize it better than we can. And if AI can synthesize it, AI can replace it. And you can rank number one and still be invisible. That is brutal, and it's also true. If your article is just another watered-down definition piece with no experience, no proof, no edge, and no point of view, then why would anyone need you? Why would Google need you? Why would ChatGPT need you? Why would a customer need you? They wouldn't. And that is the part some marketers still do not want to admit. They're still publishing content for the sake of having content. They're still checking boxes, still acting like volume is strategy, but it's not. It's clutter. Replaceable informational content is getting flattened. Not all informational content, just the weak stuff. That distinction matters because good educational content still works, but now it has to carry weight. It has to have fingerprints all over it. So what actually survives? Again, Shelley Walsh, the managing editor of Search Engine Journal, gives a really strong answer here. She points to content rooted in your data, your experience, your opinion, video interviews, firsthand experiences, original research, proprietary data, expert analysis. Her line is right on the money when she said, AI can synthesize, but it cannot manufacture lived experience. That is the new standard. Not more content, better source material. Your content has to feel like it came from somebody who's actually done the work, somebody who's seen the pattern, somebody who has results, somebody who has a take. That means case studies, original data, field insights, firsthand lessons, real comparisons, clear opinions. Not safe little paragraphs that sound like they're approved by 12 nervous people in a conference room. That kind of content is dead weight now. And if you want to survive summarization, you need to become worth quoting. That leads to the next question. If AI is doing more summarizing, why would anyone click? Simple. Because summaries have limits. Shelley Walsh also framed it like this. This is really important around what she called value-based clicks. Some pointed to three reasons people go beyond the summary. A depth the summary cannot contain, credibility and trust, and actionable assets. That is such a useful filter. Why would someone click on your page? Because your page has a deeper answer. Because your brand is trustworthy. Because your page has a framework, a tool, a template, a report, a guide, a video, or a point of view that the summary cannot fully deliver. That means clicks are still there, but lazy clicks are dying, and good. A lot of garbage needed to die. People still will need to click for original reports, for templates. They'll still need to click for useful downloads. They'll still need to click for breaking developments. They'll still need to click for videos. They'll still need to click when the brand itself has trust and gravity. So no, content marketing is not dead, but lazy content marketing, yeah, that thing is completely on life support. Now let's talk about what makes brands actually show up in this new environment. Loren Baker, the founder of Search Engine Journal, laid it out really clean in a framework like this. He pointed to 4 pillars that make brands more citation-worthy: entity authority, original data and research, expert opinions and points of view, and structured content. That framework is strong because it forces you to stop thinking like a page publisher and start thinking like a brand that needs to be understood. So let's break it down in plain English. Entity authority means your business has a real, recognizable digital footprint. You're not blurry. You're not inconsistent. You're not sending mixed signals about who you are. Original data and research means you have something that nobody else can just paraphrase on 10 other sites. Your surveys, your benchmarks, your internal numbers, your findings, your case studies. Expert opinions and point of view means you sound like an operator with judgment, not a brochure, not a content mill, not a bland, over-sanitized copy machine. And structured content means machines can actually parse what the hell your site is saying. Schemas, FAQs, how-to structure, reviews, products and service relationships, clear organization. So if I boil all of it down, here's the rule. Be clear, be original, be specific, be structured. This is how you stop becoming wallpaper. Now let's get practical. Your website now has 2 jobs at once. It has to make sense to humans, and it has to make sense to machines. Loren Baker, the founder of Search Engine Journal, emphasized structured data signals like schema markup, semantic HTML, and clean heading structure. He also referenced LLM.txt as emerging standards, though not a universal one. And that last part's important. Do not go running around acting like LLM.txt is a magic trick. It's interesting, it's early, and it's not the whole game. The bigger point is much simpler. Your website can't be a pretty mess. It needs clear page hierarchy, clean headings, organized FAQs, strong schema, structured answers, and obvious relationships between topics, service, and locations. Machines reward clarity. Humans reward clarity too. A lot of websites fail because they were built to look polished in a boardroom, not to communicate clearly to a crawler, a search engine, or a language model. That's a problem. Because if the machine cannot confidently interpret your business, do not act shocked when it does not surface your brand. This is also why Q&A content matters so much right now. Again, Loren Baker pointed towards Q&A content, on-site content hubs, original first-party content as a part of the AI visibility engine. The logic is simple. When your customer questions live on your own domain as structured, indexable content, your site becomes easier to be cited and easier to trust. That means a lot for service businesses because your customers are asking the same questions every day. How much does it cost? How long does it take? What does it include? Is it safe for my kids, for my pets? Do I need a contract? What happens after the first visit? How is this different from other options? Why would I choose this instead of the next guy? Most companies answer those questions badly or vaguely or not at all, and then they wonder why they're not visible. A real content hub is not random blogging. It's organized proof that you understand your market. It's your business teaching clearly, answering directly, explaining honestly, and doing it in a way that both machines and humans can follow. That's not fluff, that's infrastructure. And here's one more thing that people need to understand. This shift is also political inside a company. Because when leadership sees the brand appear in AI-driven visibility, suddenly the conversation changes. Loren Baker pointed out that AI visibility gets executive attention, drives C-suite buy-in, and helps technical SEO priorities like schema, site speed, canonicals, and crawlability move up the dev's queue. That's real. For years, SEO people have had to explain why technical structure matters while everybody else in the room looked half asleep. But once the question becomes, why are they showing up and why are we not? Now the room wakes up. Now structure matters. Now authority matters. Now clarity matters. Now content quality matters. Fear is an outstanding motivator when it's used correctly. So here's the takeaway. The old game was rank the page, get the click, count the traffic. The new game is be understood, be trusted, be worth citing, be worth clicking after the summary already happened. That means generic content loses. Original insight wins. Experience matters. Point of view matters. Structure matters. Clarity matters. And your website now has to communicate with machines as clearly as it's communicating with people. So if your strategy still looks like publish bland content, chase rankings, and pray for clicks, that's not a strategy anymore. That is nostalgia. And nostalgia does not rank, does not convert, and will not build authority. If you want to win, now your content needs your fingerprints all over it. Your brand needs to be structured. Your brand needs to have clarity. And your business needs to become the source worth citing. That's the standard now. And the companies that have this figured out are the companies that are going to be eating in 2026.